elas fazem esse tipo de tratamento conosco, e é por isso que, em boa parte, não só por isso, né? Mas é por isso também que o mercado é delas, tá? Quem, dentro de uma negociação, valoriza menos, né? Tem menos interesse em vender, enfim, tem menos interesse, é a pessoa que tem mais poder de barganha. É ela que, no fim, né, vai decidir os rumos das coisas. E é por isso que, se você também não tiver tanto interesse, pode até ser que, dentro desse mercado, você acabe sendo um produto lá não tão interessante. Mas, do outro lado da história, você pode criar para você o seu próprio mercado, sem a preocupação, sem mesmo a presença do feminino, entende? Tá? Então, é aí que tá. Compreender isso é muito importante, porque isso te dá possibilidades, como eu falei. Possibilidades mil. A decisão é sua do que você vai fazer com essa possibilidade. Mas o fato é que ela tá na sua mão, a realidade é essa. Se você enxergar, aprender essa lição, cara, você vai muito bem na vida. A verdade é essa. Tá bom? Então é isso, cowboys. Eu espero que vocês tenham curtido o vídeo de hoje. Se você puder deixar o like, eu agradeço. Se puder compartilhar esse conteúdo para que mais pessoas possam compreender esse aspecto, também seria legal, tá bom? E tamo junto. Um forte abraço a todos.
Da Montana, que eu tava fazendo publi para eles lá, o lançamento, e a gente encontrou lá.
Deixa eu contar umas histórias, então, bem curiosas. Posso falar da Chevrolet?
Claro.
Essa empresa que eu trabalhava, que fechou, que foi justamente a empresa, a última que eu trabalhei antes de começar o canal, porque depois eu trabalhei em mais duas ainda, né? Mas o meu principal cliente era a GM. A gente fornecia o motor da S10 para eles. E foi justamente a GM que deu um rolo grande lá, deu uma brigalhada, mas a culpa não foi da GM. A culpa foi em parte da empresa que eu trabalhava, em parte da GM, mas aquilo ficou ruim para mim. Por quê? Porque eu respondia pela linha de montagem. Eu era o supervisor da linha de montagem de motores que entregava para a GM. E quando fechou, foi tão traumático que toda vez que eu gravava um GM eu era meio... não vou dizer sarcástico, mas eu pegava pesado com a gente, pegava pesado. Porque eu ainda tinha aquele trauma do passado. E eles demoraram muito tempo para me convidar para algum evento, para me emprestar carro, para tudo mais. E hoje eu vejo que a GM tem uma postura muito diferente das outras empresas, porque eu continuo pegando pesado com eles. E eles continuam me chamando para os eventos e continuam emprestando carro.
Porque tem isso, cara. Vocês têm que ser sinceros e falar o que vocês estão achando. E tem pessoal que pega bronca, assim, fala, pô, os caras falaram isso do meu carro.
Já aconteceu, porque assim,
muito,
a gente já fez vídeo. Hoje, o canal é muito... nós estamos sempre brincando um com o outro, o tempo todo. Até o pessoal acha que a gente tá se xingando, brigando. A gente faz live toda quinta-feira, o pessoal acha que a gente tá brigando na live. E é o nosso normal. Chamar um de animal, um de abobado, uma coisa assim, né?
Tá vendo, Paquito?
É só elogio.
É só elogios. E aí teve um vídeo que a gente fez que realmente a gente falou... Quando a gente falou algumas coisas ruins do carro, a gente pegou muito pesado.
Entendi.
E aí o cara falou assim, pô, o cara tá xingando meu carro. O cara tá falando mal do meu carro. Não pode ser assim.
Uma coisa que a gente aprendeu...
E aí, tipo, a gente aprendeu que a gente pode falar mal, mas de uma maneira que não vá...
Não, é que assim...
deteriorar as coisas do carro, né?
É que assim, não existe carro perfeito. Não existe. Não existe aquele carro que tu diga assim, nossa, esse carro aqui não dá problema, esse carro é maravilhoso em todos os pontos. Não existe. Definitivamente não tem. E a pessoa que está assistindo o vídeo, ou ela quer comprar aquele carro, ou ela tem aquele carro. E ela quer saber o que a gente falou dele.
Exato.
Então, quando a pessoa tem o carro...
aí ela pega a bronca.
Vira pro lado pessoal. E eu entendo isso. Por quê? Porque hoje eu entendo. Na época a gente não entendia. Isso foi em 2017. Foi nos primórdios do canal ali, né? Na época a gente não entendia. Por quê? Porque a gente estava falando do carro do jeito que a gente fala entre nós. A gente brinca, a gente fala besteira e tal. Só que o cara que comprou aquele carro, ele teve que trabalhar muitas horas. Ele se dedicou a vida dele para chegar naquilo ali. Provavelmente ele fez um monte de parcelas, ele teve que abrir mão de um monte de coisas.
Pesquisou muito para chegar.
Pesquisou. Cara, não tem como tu separar a compra de um carro de toda a história de um ser humano. Então, é muito ruim tu chegar e avacalhar com o carro da pessoa. E a gente não faz mais isso. A gente não faz. Mas, ao mesmo tempo que a gente não avacalha com o carro de ninguém, a gente precisa mostrar o que é bom e o que é ruim. Então, a gente mostra. E a gente diz claramente, não gostei disso, não gostei daquilo.
Eu assisto muito vídeo de vocês quando eu tô pensando em trocar de carro, né?
É a maioria.
Eu acho que é a maioria.
É a maioria. É a maioria.
Será que eu compro esse carro? Vamos ver. Tá, papá. Aí vou ver.
Se for ver assim, 60% da nossa audiência é de não inscritos. É aquela pessoa que procura, eu quero saber se o Sandero Volvo é bom. Bota lá, apareceu esse cara aqui, eu vou ver o vídeo. Entendeu? Ela vê o vídeo. Mas ela não curte carro pra ficar inscrita no meu canal.
Entendi.
Mas ela tá procurando carro.
Tem os caras que são que nem a gente, né?
Claro que tem, claro. Claro que tem. O cara vê todos os vídeos, todos os vídeos.
Às vezes o cara não tem nem carro.
Não, isso.
Isso
Na live, tem gente que fica, a gente faz live 2 horas por semana, tem gente que fica do começo ao final da live. Eu não ficaria.
O cara quer saber, né?
Vamos dar um abraço pra Paula aqui.
Mandar um abraço pra Paula.
A Paula é uma pessoa que eu não consigo entender ela. Ela começa a live junto com a gente, ela termina a live junto com a gente. Todas.
Não é atejano, não, né?
Não é. É normalzinha.
Essa Paula não conhece.
Ela já participou aqui da gente.
Tá
e também
bom.
tem aquela oficina, né?
Thomas. Mas é que essas aí estão meio manjadas. Essas aí até quando vende já se dá conta.
Eu vi uma italiana aí que é bem diferente. Você viu aquela do italiano? Eu nem lembro, que eu mandei o vídeo lá, cara. Aquela a gente cairia fácil, hein, cara.
Tinha um cara no canal que toda live ele pagava superchat pra gente
pra
tentar pegar.
E ele me pegou uma vez.
Só que pegou que ele nem se deu conta.
Eu não me dei
ele
conta.
falou e seguiu e eu... E fiquei aqui.
5 minutos depois, o Gustavo dando risada na minha cara. Eu, que foi, meu? Aí que eu fui, putz.
Ele respondendo sério e tal, e dando toda aquela resposta que ele não consegue responder em 1 minuto, ele tem que responder em 5 minutos, né? Faz toda uma ideia, né? E eu aqui, ó, e o pessoal no chat rindo, e ele só comentando, né?
Cara,
foi traumático.
mas e a história de carro com vocês? Qual o primeiro carro de cada um?
Começa assim, ó.
Esse é o Cápsula e nós vamos falar agora do aumento da inflação. A inflação aumentou mês passado, acima do esperado. E olha só, aumentou justamente pelo aumento da gasolina mês passado, que foi um aumento pequenininho. E agora, com o aumento que teve agora da gasolina esse mês, deve aumentar ainda mais a inflação. O pessoal do governo já está preocupado. E o que assusta são as propostas que o governo Lula tem para tratar a inflação. Eu vou falar sobre isso. Essa notícia foi sugerida por senhor presidente BR, Luiz Gicumio, Mário e várias outras pessoas. Obrigado aí ao pessoal que sugeriu a notícia. Obrigado a você que está assistindo o nosso vídeo. Se você gosta do nosso conteúdo, por favor, deixe o seu like e se inscreva aqui no canal, né? Pois bem, olha que coisa, a inflação no Brasil, com toda a recessão, com toda a estagnação econômica, com um monte de loja fechando, um monte de gente demitindo, um monte de gente, com tudo isso, ainda teve inflação alta no mês passado, né? O IPCA subiu 0,12% em julho, devido à forte alta da gasolina. Mas, curiosamente, o que aconteceu em julho, né? Em julho, o governo Lula voltou os impostos para a gasolina. Você lembra? Bolsonaro tinha acabado com os impostos, tanto os estaduais quanto os federais na gasolina ano passado. O Lula tinha voltado com uma parte dos impostos no início do ano e agora voltou com completo todos os impostos de novo. Ele aproveitou que no início de julho a gasolina estava caindo, o preço da gasolina, do petróleo lá fora estava caindo. Então ele aproveitou porque a gasolina estava baixando para subir o imposto, de forma que ele achou que o pessoal não ia perceber o truquezinho dele ali, né? Só que, na verdade, todo mundo sentiu, teve sim um aumento da gasolina, só que foi um aumento pequeno, porque, como eu expliquei, teria um aumento enorme devido ao aumento de impostos. Mas como isso juntou com a diminuição da gasolina, tudo bem, ficou só um aumento pequeno. Esse aumento pequeno já foi suficiente para causar um aumento da inflação no mês passado. E agora, imagina agora que a gasolina subiu 25% agora, né? E 16%, desculpa, o diesel 25% e a gasolina 16%. Isso vai ter um impacto enorme no mês que vem. Ou seja, a inflação no Brasil tende a continuar subindo, apesar da gente estar numa estagnação econômica, apesar da atividade econômica estar ruim. Ou seja, no final das contas, a gente está entrando numa estagflação, né? O que esperar de um governo tão idiota quanto o governo Lula? A economia não mexe e mesmo assim você tem inflação em cima disso, né? Bom, mas Isso tudo aqui é o de menos, tá? Isso aqui a gente já sabia que a gasolina ia ter que subir, que a inflação ia dar um aumento aqui. Ó, o Campos Neto até falou aqui ó, que está projetando um aumento da inflação até o final de 2023. Por isso que ele estava sendo cuidadoso na hora de baixar a taxa de juros, para baixar devagarzinho, coisa e tal. Começou a baixar agora, mas ele sabe que isso vai levar a um aumento da inflação. Mas o que me assusta nessa coisa toda aqui não é nada disso. Porque tudo isso daqui é algo que era esperado, né? Realmente a inflação vai subir, coisa e tal. Agora, esse retrato aqui que foi pintado pelo Fabiano Vaz, da Nord Research, que entrevistou o Haddad, ele veio com essa informação aqui da entrevista com o Haddad. Olha só. Vamos inaugurar semana que vem um grupo de estudo de economistas que não são do mercado. A gente não quer economista heterodoxo. A gente quer a galera que tem as ideias mirabolantes. As ideias mirabolantes. A ideia é verificar como se combate a inflação em outros países. Isso eles querem fazer de um jeito diferente. Não pode. O Brasil tem um viés impressionante de pagar juros altos. A taxa de juros é o mecanismo que todos os países usam para controlar a inflação. E é provado que funciona. A prova maior foi essa agora. Mesmo com um governo de esquerda, um governo gastando pra caramba, o fato da taxa de juros ter sido mantida alta garantiu que a inflação não explodiu no Brasil com o governo Lula, pelo menos até aqui, né? Então, olha só, pagávamos juro alto mesmo com superávit primário e dívida caindo. Exato, por quê? Porque o governo continuava imprimindo dinheiro. Tinha superávit primário, quer dizer que o governo recebia mais do que pagava de coisas, né? Mas isso aí é o primário, é sem considerar os juros da dívida, sem considerar outras despesas. Se considerar todas as despesas do governo brasileiro, sim, o governo brasileiro ainda imprime dinheiro hoje. Então, mesmo com a dívida caindo, com o superávit primário, o governo continuava imprimindo dinheiro. E imprimir dinheiro é inflação, é o que causa inflação e por isso precisa de uma taxa de juros grande, que é para justamente enxugar esse dinheiro do mercado na outra ponta, né? Então, olha só que coisa assustadora. Isso daqui me dá muito medo. Por quê? Está falando aqui que, basicamente, o que o Lula está querendo fazer, o que o Haddad está querendo fazer aqui, é criar uma forma diferente de enfrentar a inflação. Vai usar o quê? O padrão argentino de controle da inflação, de culpar os empresários, dizer, não, que os empresários são todos gananciosos, ficam querendo ganhar mais, é aumentar de preço e coisa e tal. Não, esquece isso. A inflação é exclusivamente governo imprimindo dinheiro. É isso que causa inflação em tudo quanto é lugar. E por que eu fico preocupado com isso? Porque o Brasil tem uma história de cair nesses papos de que vamos, não pode, temos que ter um meio heterodoxo, resolver de uma forma transcendental a inflação. Isso nunca funcionou. A inflação no Brasil só foi solucionada no dia que o pessoal sentou a bunda na cadeira, pegou uma fórmula ortodoxa, o mais simples, o básico do básico, parou de imprimir dinheiro, cortou tudo quanto é lugar que tinha de impressão de dinheiro no Brasil, aumentou os impostos e aí conseguiu equilibrar a coisa toda. O Brasil não precisava mais imprimir dinheiro para sobreviver, foi o plano real. Foi isso que deu alguma estabilidade econômica no Brasil. Olha, com o Lula, a gente já voltou para 2003. Se o Lula implementar esse tipo de plano aqui, a gente vai voltar para 1995. Vamos voltar para a era da inflação, da mega inflação aqui. Que pior, essas coisas sempre começam devagarzinho. Começa devagarzinho, igual a Argentina, 100% de inflação ao ano, né? Parece pouco, assim, na verdade, no dia a dia você nem percebe, né? Daqui a pouco tá igual estava aqui no Brasil, 80 mil por dia, 80 mil por mês de inflação e os preços subindo de um dia para o outro. Muito triste isso, muito triste esse retorno que o Brasil está fazendo para a irresponsabilidade econômica. Obrigado por assistir o vídeo.
That's on the 10-year though. A completely different look there. The short-dated Treasury, completely different than the long-dated one. We know that, yeah, they mean different things. All right, keeping my eye on this IDA. I'm looking for that 3 break. I have to adjust my script here to account for my shareage. So let's go ahead and put that in. Like that. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll have to fix that then. You guys can take it off that screen. There you go. Thank you. All right, so then I'll go like this and like that. There we go. So now we are protected. We'll see if we get that continuation. Otherwise, oops. We'll see if this 3 is going to hold here, Max, because I have a bad feeling that 3 is not going to hold. but we'll see. Only a few pennies worth of risk here. Energy strong though. Oil up 1.4% on the day, $80.40. It looks like
XOM up 2.5.
48 cents. Yeah, you want to have a look at that?
Interesting. XOM, did they report? Did they already report, or they report soon? Let me check that out because all-time high on
And they're out
XOM
of
is
that.
not very far away. July 28th pre-market, so it already happened. Oh yeah, I remember that. But 110 all-time high, 119, I believe, on XOM. If this will load up for me, come on. I don't think it wants to load, but 119.50, I believe, was the all-time high on XOM. The all-time high breaks have been kind of decent on this one. 110 was really nice, 105 was really nice, 115, a little bit of bamboozlement there, but
Right.
you end up trending up to like 116, 117, or maybe that was the day that we got to 119. Not 100% sure on that. If my trade ideas will load for me, maybe we can find that that day. Yeah, 119.58, double top. Okay, I believe that was the day that we broke 115. Or 116? Oh no, 115 goes to 117.65. So yeah, you can take these kind of clean levels on these all-time highs on XOM, I find, and get like a couple dollar trend out of it.
Right.
So I'm going to be watching a 120 for sure, which 119.75 or 90, 119.92 all-time high it looks like on this trade ideas chart for XOM. If we continue to trend on oil, this could be a banger.
Interesting here. Look, BGLC. We traded this one earlier, Max. Look at this. 140 was the level
We're back to 140?
we called the flat bottom break, and we are right back there again. Does this level hold out? We're printing above it. We're printing 141s. Here I'm seeing on the tape above 141. I'm getting some 142. So not holding exactly. But here we go again. 144 is coming in on BGLC, 97%. So the flat bottom break came in, but the trend continues to the high side. We fill that gap between that 120 and 140.
Look where it held, man.
On the dot.
Right where you said it would hold $1.25 is where it held. I don't think that wick is actually real. Mine's saying 123 was
have
the
a look.
recent low, but
You're actually right. That 120, that's
123, the
incorrect.
exact low that you were pointing to before is where it holds for
Max.
like 15 minutes. I don't know why I wrote this off.
So much money
I
left
mean,
on it.
as long as it's holding above $1, this stock is bullish, in my opinion.
I agree.
As
I
long
agree.
as you're above $1, people are being squeezed out of this stock.
No question.
So we probably should have been a little bit more aggressive on this.
I agree.
Obviously, tape speed, aggression, volume is very light since this run up here.
Sure.
You know that we've never seen, or we haven't seen volume like this since that run up. But I mean, if we're taking out $1.50 again, maybe worth a little bit of a Huadunk there. Oh, okay.
There, that
coming in
level.
hot.
Resistance level
Coming in
galore,
hot.
baby. Well, at least for now, let's see. I mean, the bamboozlement is real on this one. We still are at VWAP. So VWAP on my chart is at 134. So we're a couple of shekels south of that. So we'll continue to watch. IDAI below 3. I'm already out of that. 40 penny loser. Super in, super out. Super quick in, super quick out. Got in 304s. Got out 299, I believe. So out of that, what else is being spoken about here? Google VWAP test if no 130.95 says Emma. Google, here it comes. Google on my chart, VWAP is 130.59. Man, we are in a full state of Huadunk on everything. Everything. Chips included. Everything's tanking. NQ flush, oh man. NQ low of the day, oh man. Absolutely.
Yeah, those
New low on the ES.
2K lots on
The Katina man is on $1 and something.
Should be gone.
$2 south on Microsoft, says Katina man.
So yeah, if there really was 2K lots on 4409.25, which makes a lot of sense given
So much weakness.
given how much volume just went off in that breakdown candle there, those contracts be gone. We'll see if how much size is there on 4400. Given the amount of time that we consolidated above this price, I feel that we're probably smacking through 4400 right now, and we may see a real down day on these markets.
We're seeing them right now.
That Apple short is absolute money, down to almost 174 right now. Yeah, everything kind of breaking down for sure. Definitely want to look for something. If we're going to bounce off of 4,400, which is a definite possibility, not necessarily a likelihood in my mind, you can look at Tesla, which is kind of right at this support that we've been at all day. This 223 has provided support 4 or 5 times now. Maybe this is something that bounces from here if the market wants to bounce. NASDAQ right at the low kind of right now. If we take out that 14,850, more downside inbound, I would say, and would have to go on my phone to figure out what my next level is on there. But those levels have been pretty banger so far, so maybe I should just short through that level down to my next one.
Looking at the economic calendar here, want to see what is up for the rest of the day. Nothing really for the rest of the day. A couple of things here at 4:30. Fed's balance sheet comes out at 4:30, obviously not during market hours. Let's see what's on deck for tomorrow. Some Canadian stuff that we don't have to concern ourselves with. We have the Hughes oil rig report. That's not really market moving. Nothing really on deck for tomorrow. So yeah, there's all this stuff is after the bell. What's this RMPI month over month for Canada? Raw materials price index. Okay, that's interesting for home building for sure. I'm assuming that includes lumber and the like. So yeah, nothing really on deck in terms of economic calendar-wise for tomorrow, but we know we have some earnings. Let's have a look at those. We have some after the bell today. We also have some interesting ones tomorrow. Let's pop that up. Give me 1 sec here to load up that bad boy. Here it is. After the close today, Applied Materials, interesting chip name. We know that this one is a good one, AMAT, A-M-A-T, up $138 at the moment. Ross, interesting retail play. We get more retail earnings going on into the week. Tomorrow,
that was a wild one last year. Ross stores.
Yeah, remember?
That went crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Weren't they down like 30, 40% in
It
one
was
day or
nuts. I remember
something?
that. We traded this on the floor last year. I know that for a fact.
I remember the name for sure. I don't remember the move, but I remember it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, this one I'm going to have my eye on. John Deere, because I'm in CAT in the long term. So John Deere, clearly a competitor. They report well. Sometimes you get a sympathy play, no question about it. And I want to hear what they have to say about home building. I mean, we got the good news from Caterpillar and it shot up after earnings. Let's see what John Deere brings tomorrow. Estee Lauder for retail, obviously, and then Xpeng, another Chinese called EV company. We'll see how they do. They have been the weakest of the bunch. NIO delivered more, Lee delivered more, BYD obviously goes without saying, delivered way more than all of them combined. But Xpeng, the laggard, but they seem to get all the hype. I mean, traders love this stock. So tomorrow before the open, typically these Chinese ADRs, they report like at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., what have you. It's basically sell the news type day. I mean, that's usually what it is. They're traded heavily on the Hang Seng. And then, you know, that kind of continues when the markets open up here at 4 a.m. It runs, the bell rings here at 9:30, and then typically it's a sell-off. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but seems to be a bit of a running theme here. Apple is looking to come in towards that 174 again. We have a low on day of 173.93. We have a VWAP rejection, a 175 rejection on Apple. It's headed back to the lows, much in the same way that the future is both on the NQ and the ES. Do we hold 4,400 today, man? Do we hold it? And if we break it to the downside, do we close above it? I'm looking at the side chart here. That's where my future is, ES September contract. Been a tough time for the longs, and I submit to you, we will continue to see tough time for the longs because the statistics show that.
It does really feel that we need, another month probably of a pullback here. You look at like the monthly chart on NQ, it's pretty nuts. I feel like, we're almost there where I thought we would get to 14.5. So
yeah.
I feel like that's where we end up bouncing from. But we'll see. I'm looking at CVS right now.
Yep.
Actually, on on this 65.50 seems to have supported a bunch of times. Obviously, nasty move down 10% on the day. I did have low of day and punch low of day on this one, sadly, about $1.50 or $1 down from here. But if you look at this shelf, I mean, you can see this as a breakdown, which given the news and move today, maybe is what you may want to take is the continuation breakdown here through 65.50. But it is holding for now. I kind of missed it, did a little wick below 50s and then bounced back up now into the 70s. So can't take that. What is this?
Look, I'm going to tell the viewers in a second. Anyway, all right, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What is this nonsense? All right, Peloton, the reason I'm going to talk about this, Peloton reports next week. I'm going to make a video about it either today or tomorrow for next week's earnings. Watch for that to drop on the weekend. Shout out to the production team. But this, I just got this advertisement on Facebook. Peloton now, you don't have to own it, they say. You can rent it for the very thrifty price of $130 a month. Why would I want to own? Not even, okay. All right, I'm going to pump the brakes.
The thing is, the membership, when you own the bike already, is
It's
still
like
like
40
80
bucks.
It's 40?
I don't know. Guys,
It used
anybody
to
know
be
the
$80 a month. I can look it up now.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. But here, I gotta tell you, on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, they're selling for like $500 and $600 now.
The bike.
Yeah.
Really?
The first gen, which is okay.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
Because it's a nice bike.
Why would I want to rent this when I can own it in 4 or 5 months? I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
How much is it? It's like $3 or $4 grand to buy the bike normally. though,
easily
right?
from the store?
Yeah.
Well, they got the Plus, and there's different categories of the bikes now.
So if you're saying that you'll replace the bike every 2 to 3 years, which I don't understand
don't
why
know
you would
why.
replace a stationary bike,
No.
ever.
Beat it up.
But
like-
yeah, unless you're like some
and it
kind
starts,
of
Max,
insane-
starting at 129. Like
So
that's
that's the
probably the
base
basic.
model.
Yeah. I don't get this, man. They're looking for any sorts of revenue. They're grasping at straws, if you ask me, and like they're holding on by the skin of their teeth. The comments on this, I'm not gonna read them, but the comments are
Oh
very.
my God.
Who hit it? The comments are not. They're not pleased with what's happening. At Peloton.
$44 per month. It looks
That's what
like.
I told you. Yeah, $40 a month,
That's
give
all
or take.
access though.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I'm not paying $130 for a base model Peloton that
But
I'm
if
not
it-
going to own.
Do you get the subscription with that? Is the question.
That's a good
So
question.
Then, so
good
then
question.
you're talking
Let's
80
go. Let's
bucks a
find
month
out.
for the bike or for the bike itself,
Can you imagine
and that's
this?
not so bad.
Let's find out. Dude, you can own this
You're
real
just gonna
quick.
put your clothes on it as
And
well.
there's a delivery fee of $250. You can have the bike. I don't want it. Let's see what it does. It include the rental? Rent a Peloton bike plus with cycling shoes and Peloton. Yes, membership included. Good call, Max.
It is.
Yeah, membership included.
All right, so 80 bucks. So you're talking $1,000 a year for the bike. They're normally $3 to $4 grand. So you're talking.
But I'm telling you,
It's
on the
still
secondary
pretty,
market, you
pretty
can get
trash.
it.
Yeah, why would you? I mean, why do people buy new cars? I guess. Why
Yeah,
do people?
that's a good point.
You know, buy a new
BGLC,
iPhone?
it actually broke that 120 level that we actually thought was not real.
So
It beat-
full bamboozlement.
full bamboozlement. We get the 140 rejection again. So support becomes resistance on this time around, and it is moving down. BGLC was up way over 100% now and back into 61%. Max brought up a very important point. As long as this bad boy is above $1, it is somewhat bullish because people may be offside on this name, but does it stay above $1? We've seen so many of these small cap gappers that have these high wicking candles only to have very small bodies because they close sub whatever, it's $1 or whatever the price action was on the day. So here it comes again. We're only 16 pennies, 15 pennies removed from that dollar level. Let's see if we hold it. It was a great hold, flat bottom break off 140. It gave you that level again. If you were smart enough, I wasn't, to short it off that 140 again, you have been very well rewarded as it has been the elevator down. What a move down on BGLC. 6.5 million share float, but the short float, very small, or at least we think. Now, that gets reported every 14 days, so the numbers can be completely skewed. People could be getting short in now, and the half the float could be short. I don't know. I'm just speaking tongue-in-cheek here, because it's only 6.5 million shares.
Well, yeah, it's done what, 30 million shares on the day?
On the day,
50
yeah.
million shares on the day, so the whole float could be theoretically short right now.
Absolutely.
On this, just on today's action alone. And I feel like, yeah, those intraday short numbers end up getting pretty high at some points on some of these crazy movers. So, yeah, the short float after doing 50 million shares, typically probably not that
Oh, you got to read this comment.
indicative.
Yes, and it's delivered by Yellow with a cash on delivery. That's hilarious. You get bags for that. That's so mean.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's a scam. Yeah, I don't think it's a good deal either, quite frankly. Piton should have sold out once the vaccine. Yeah, you never know. I mean, it was an in-home play. My cousin still has it. People call it a glorified hanger because it's in people's bedrooms and then they put their clothes
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
what I was
right?
going to say. That's an expensive
That's an
coat
expensive
hanger.
hanger, right? Just buy a real bike for $200, better views. Yeah, that's another
Where
point.
can you find a real bike for $200?
Not
these days?
lately, bro.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the bikes lately, man? They're
Oh,
like,
man.
oh, 500 and up, man.
I used to get really into the mountain bikes when I was young, and those got
Real
like
pricey.
those got real crazy recently.
They have
Like 10,000 you could spend on a mountain bike.
like a really good one, though.
Yeah, but
What
it used
kind
to
is
be like
an
4 or 5
entry-level?
grand.
Yeah, wow.
You know, to get a really really nice one. Now it's like 10. It's
My
crazy.
buddy rides. He rides like with those people on the street. What are the with the racing?
Yeah,
bikes?
the
It's like
cyclists.
cyclists. Yeah. He spent like 5-6 grand. on it.
You can spend 50.
Yeah, that
You
costs
can
nuts,
spend
bro. What
50 on those things. There's some of
real?
them where you can like lift it up with your finger though. Like,
Oh, that's why.
they're like 6 to 8
Composites and
pounds or
stuff?
something
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay.
Which, you bump that wheel on a streetcar track, that thing's folding up, and you're smashing your teeth
Yeah.
in. But
I bet you the safety issue there. I mean, there's got to be something to be said about that.
yeah. Those are meant for those British, or not British, the
Tour de
French,
France?
the French beautifully manicured roads.
Oh yeah, we don't have that here. We
No.
have very high taxes and very poor roads. All right, very bad roads. And apparently there's no money for that, but there's money for other things. I'm not going to get into that. But here we go. Let's look at what's moving at the moment.
The market did bounce
It did, eh?
off the lows on NASDAQ. I mean, kind of muted, but we are still supporting 14,860. I don't know. I would suggest that we're going to get a flat bottom breakdown on the market. Probably,
I agree.
I don't know, maybe power hour kind of flush, maybe power hour liquidity grab supports and then blast us back up. I know that yesterday after, we left a little early for golf yesterday, but there were some crazy moves after that FOMC minutes. It looked like up, down, and then absolute quadrunk afterwards. It looks
The market
like,
did not digest what was written there very kindly.
Yeah, but I
yesterday.
mean, it's old news. We've been hearing the
expected,
same
yeah.
stuff out of these
We have.
guys for months and months, and I don't know. I guess maybe some hopefulness that there's gonna be something in there is propping us up.
Jackson Hole next week. Don't forget.
Yes.
That will be interesting. Papa Powell will be there. We know what happened last year when he spoke. Now, probably not the same type of effect because we were super interest rate sensitive last year because we were talking about 9% inflation in June and this was in August. So we really hadn't been that far removed from that time. Obviously, inflation not the worry at the moment that it was last year. But now we're talking about how long do we stay at this elevated level rather than how high do we go? Last year was like, how high do we go? Now it's how long do we stay up here? And so definitely we'll be looking for comments in that regard. We'll see what happens. I believe the 24th to the 26th is Jackson Hole. So definitely stay tuned for that. What else is going on? Do we have any economic numbers on Friday? Now I looked for tomorrow. Well, tomorrow
like
is Friday,
Friday's
so yeah,
typically
tomorrow's
no, right?
Friday. We don't have anything tomorrow. I already looked.
Tesla's holding that 223 area again. Did make a new low though, 222.62. So this could just be kind of a sell the little pop action as, Apple kind of the leading indicator here heading right back down to that 174. So I would say that breaking this consolidation on Apple right now would probably be a decent short. I hate shorting at lows, so probably not going to do that, but we take out 174 again. I feel that we will see lower lows. I don't know what the next level on Apple is. I haven't even done,
God.
charting this low on this name. I
Don't
really never
look.
thought.
Don't look.
We got a lot of closes.
Literally, it's like $150.
No, come on.
Yeah, man. Have a look. Like
170, 150 has a lot of closes around it.
Think so?
But
right.
I don't know.
The bigger picture I would suggest to you is 150. But here's why I say that. Let's look at it.
You
Let's
think
bring in
Apple's going all the way down to 150 again?
I don't want it to.
No.
Why not? All right. Well, here. Okay. To be fair, you've got you got a point. I mean, we are at these levels though. Like, look at this. This is the crest over here. Where is that? 174.50.
Yeah.
We already broke that today. We went to 173.83. All right. Where was the other level? Was 178.85, the top of that crest. Now, so how low do we have to go? So maybe 165. There is this 2 days. That doesn't mean much in my book.
I like the chop in this zone here.
This one right here.
Right
170.
between like 170 to 173
Fair.
kind of area.
Okay, that's fair.
If we support 170, I think that would make.
I'll be
a lot of
buying
sense.
down here, no question about it.
Yeah,
like
of course.
5, 10 shares at a time. You know what I mean?
Apple on a dip. Come on.
Yeah, I'm loading up on Apple here. Like I'm hoping September brings good news. But anyway, Max, we are now overtime. It is the end of the show, and we're going to send it over to the big kahunas. Max and I, again, like always, every day, will be on tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right nose at the big desk.
Ha! Tricked. You guys got faded there. Came right to us because reasons. The market is going to the. It's down 0.5%, but the bigger story is we're right back onto these lows. 3 times we've tested this bottom. I have to take a fill and the position board will come up there. 3 times we've taken out this bottom and, had not taken out this bottom, but at some point, if we do, I think you only want to be in those shorts. Hey, look at that. Oh, it is filling in there. It just says positions, 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 and now.
Yeah, it has to say that first.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, now they're rolling in here. So it's going to be a wild one. I do think it's going to be a good one. Obviously, we don't like when the market goes down because your long-term account doesn't look as good, but there's always shorts to be had, and the shorts have been there pretty much all day if you've had them. So let's see what we can get going here. I don't know what's going on. The TV's behind us, but kind of weird. We can just turn that off.
It's barcoding.
Yeah.
Right there. But yeah, welcome back. We're hella short everything here again. We have $1 almost in the money on Apple right now. Look at this patience, guys. You want to talk about hitting a level a couple times there. What about 175 right there on Apple, still holding a piece of this trade as well, and this time more than 10%. So that's good. Holding that on to that trade right here for Apple as we're trying to break lower here. Of course, have our markers here, 15,000. Then the IB low of 14.9 or so right there. And just watching out to see what happens with this market. And by the way, we also have a monster trade here. I don't know if you guys saw NEO. But for some reason, this name got going here early. Not early, but right at 11 o'clock when we went off the air. And I was even putting in the chat, like, we're going short, we're going short, we're going short. NEO paying off right now. Nice downside move here on NIO. So, yeah, man, more of the same as we go. We do have Frank Berna coming today from IG, so that should be good talk coming through as well. Yeah, they're doing some TV repairs actually with Brendan's system over there as monitors.
Repairs.
Well, we've got that TV up there,
right.
and then there's a monitor situation happening, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I got to get into the proper chat, but right now Brendo is ready at the desk.
Okay, yeah, let's jump back into everything that was happening during the midday. If you took a little time or a break to have some lunch, here's what you missed. A few green areas still in the market, a few notable green areas still in the market that have been essentially holding things up throughout the day. Energy stocks specifically have been very strong all day long, along with crude oil back to the upside today. XOM still leading the way there, 2.5%. J&J with a nice day as well, 0.75 back to the upside. There are a few others in the healthcare group outside of Eli Lilly and AbbVie that have been leading the past week or so. Yeah, Google's still a great day, 1.5%, where most other big tech names downside. If you missed it this morning, there was a note from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that Google's still leading the way as far as the AI search race specifically is concerned, even though Microsoft with Bing and ChatGPT had a bit of a head start. Positive note overall for Google. Netflix, notably weak there, almost 2% downside. Apple, 1.3%. There's Tesla, 1% still to the downside overall. Some of the retailers in negative territory overall as well. If you're with us early on this morning, we were touching on a number of things, including NVIDIA. We'll get to that in a sec. It was all about Chinese ADRs as well. If you zoom in here, you can tell why we were discussing these. Huge gap to the upside here for not only Alibaba, but all the EV makers, all the tech names as well. But yeah, it's been nothing but downside ever since. So typical for ADRs, there's quite a few gaps on this chart, to say the least. Back to essentially yesterday's high, guys, for Alibaba right now.
With a little something. Maybe he'll show you too there. But I traded JD again. I guess maybe I should have gone back over to JD. It's just when it broke out past that local top, I just said, yeah, you know what? Not really setting up for me if it fills in the gap a little bit more. I wasn't really believing in the gap up. I wish I could tell you I believed in it so much that I was just shorting it off the open. But sometimes the way it works with these Chinese ADRs is if you're not sitting in, if it goes, sometimes when they fall apart at the open, if you're not sitting in the short, you'll find yourself, if you're looking for a structured setup, waiting for a while to set up. And that's exactly what happened. So I waited for this to get down into yesterday's bottom range, which was right at the close. And the second it was there, you found a consolidation. So it tried to bounce off the previous close price at 34.88 and tried to get back above 35. It failed that, so I shorted that range from yesterday in the afternoon. Pretty cleanly a couple times. The third time, maybe not as good because it couldn't fall all the way down into the bottom, but it gave you like the 34.8 to 34.9 down into 34.40. So it was a good capturable move. 35 looked like it was pretty good. I don't think I chase this anymore because the Chinese ADR in the afternoon, which if it's not doing a lot, then maybe you stay away from it. But I'm open to the idea that if it comes back to this range, you can scalp it some more. I still believe most of these charts look pretty bearish. So kind of working with the trend here, back under the 50 period, short till it gets into the lows. Nothing's really changed for me on this stock. We're going to get XPeng aftermarket, so that's going to have a catalyst of its own tomorrow. But some of the other ones, it gave you an opportunity to get back into the short with this gap up. So, thank you, JD. I'm sure if you picked any one of those names, there was an opportunity in there to fade it. So good luck. I don't think they're always that tradable in the afternoon, but stranger things have happened.
All right, it's time to dance it off one more time here as Apple just joins the Dollar Trade Club. We are going to talk about Chinese ADRs, but check out this trade right here on Apple, 175. We like it once, twice. If we can go to the screen, Ramin, thank you. Fabian, how's it going, Ramin? Right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Short Apple joins the Dollar Trade Club right there. Look, I only have one trade today on a Chinese ADR. I mean, I don't, right here on NEO, I was looking to get short Chinese ADRs all day. Finally get this pop up in NEO, I think on some sort of a Swedish charging station news. I don't know. But anyways, we take that short right there against that high. Let it make a high, short it on the way back in, and kaboom. Nice little move to the downside right now. And again, that's 20 cents right there, right? So we start taking 20 cents, which is the risk. Get them all out, not them all out, get some out, about half out around 12. Let it drip down 80s, get the VWAP here, 75, get the recent bottom. Like, don't even get out, right? Let it go down more. Once it comes back, test 67, good. Then we're out a little bit now as well as we still hold on to a piece of NIO, man. I mean, real see real, and this is a real one right now. NIO continues to make a move to the downside. Where do we get out of this? The day's low is right here at 50, so I mean, pretty close to probably tapping out of this one right now. It's NIO, man. And it's another banger for you there on NIO. Sharif, I can't believe you didn't have this one, man. I was screaming as this was happening, NIO for the win.
That was a toughie, Sean.
Just noting as well, I didn't even realize you guys have the same shirt on today.
Ooh.
Twinning. It's close enough, Neil.
Awesome.
Let's talk some Walmart. Here we go. Downside in a big way, 156 in a quarter trying to hold here now. Look at the volume still behind Walmart today if you missed it this morning. Decent report across the board. But as soon as the call started, the selling started, and it has not let up all day.
No, the initial report that came out in the morning was good. 6% year-over-year growth in same-store sales, 24% year-over-year growth in e-commerce. They actually guided well, saying that they're going to be helped by the holiday season as well as the back to school. However, the call started, and that's where the uncertainty came in, and that's where the sell-off started, Brendo.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. It was about here-ish on the during the pre-market. We had this big reversal candle, and then it was just downside. There was a bounce into the open, but here we are. Wow, what a day, guys, for Walmart.
I mean, they're the same. I mean, it is what it is.
Wow, Neil.
I didn't get the memo. I actually own a black golf shirt too. Like I could have pulled it off, and then we could have all had the same look for some unknown reason. But Walmart. I said this morning.
Go woke, go broke. I love how
I can still hear. I can hear
Sharif's mic was still on there. Sharif talking about go woke, go broke.
Yes, which was Target, by the way. But Walmart. I said with Target, wake me up at 138 break, and then for Walmart, it was like wake me up when the 162.50 breaks, and so neither one happened. You just want something trading the other direction. I suppose on that same logic, and I didn't really consider this, so it doesn't really matter that much. The other way that you could have broken to a new price level was to just take out the 158 support level. I wasn't really thinking about that. I was really just thinking about the breakout to the upside on Walmart, so there wasn't much of a trade for me. Congrats if you took that short. If you liked it, you want something breaking down. Walmart is now underneath the 50 period on the daily. It's going to have its first close in, I don't know, like 3 months underneath the 50 period on the daily. If it gets down into the 200 period, that's probably a really good buying opportunity for Walmart. So I keep tabs on this. If you're looking for, I don't know, retail or some kind of a swing or something, if the market pulls back in, look how well it's respected the 200 period on the daily. So if this is the first step to get down there, I think that's really not that bad of a play. We'll cross that bridge $6 from now or next week, whenever, if and when it happens to get down. I really, like I said, I don't see a trade in this stock today, but I should have at least been considering the bottom break if I was considering the top break.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was talking with a few people there on chat, and it was just about like, I don't know. I did downplay Walmart earlier today, and I was talking about how much I preferred Amazon and the reasons why I think Amazon is changing the game. I mean, this is not a hot take or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's a nice downside move here today. We saw Target yesterday kind of go this way as well, drip down all day. So I would say if you're in this, you just want to, okay, maybe I have to zoom this back. Okay, there it is. So I was just going to say, like, you know, if you were playing the short off of anything here, 161, these kind of tops, I think that was a great opportunity. And then you had the 200 period moving average sort of support it. We talked about a great trade off Google for that 200 period moving average, gave us about 250. And then, you know, this is the same kind of a play right now. So I would say just respect this. It's starting to flatten out a little bit at 156.60. So I would say that's your sort of your go spot there if you did need a spot to go on Walmart, especially if you're short. I would cover this around 156.60. Again, didn't really read the report thoroughly or anything like that. That's not really what I'm all about. We're just going to trade support and resistance levels and try to play momentum. So I think that this break right here of VWAP was really the only play, breaking down through 160. I mean, if you're in it early, that's fine, but you let it settle down. And this is what we always say, man, the same damn thing happens every day. It seems like anyways, and that is that waiting right now for something to happen and then watching the break. Either it breaks higher through 160.50 or it breaks lower back down through 160. And today, if you were biased that way, obviously, then you would have preferred it to go upside there, or sorry, downside if you're biased to the short for the retail. So I really like that 160 breakdown on Walmart. Pretty simple trade. Don't have it. Congratulations to those who do.
I was just reading through a couple other positive notes here today on Cisco. Was so strong out of the gate this morning. Has done basically nothing since, but nice move anyways out of the gate from the open. 55 becomes support there, but there's a ton of these today. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 even. upgrades or positive notes from analysts coming off a decent report for Cisco.
Yeah, the market liking what they're seeing at the moment. And this was funny because yesterday when it reported, it sold off. It was the earnings call this morning that was a saving grace. Here's what they said. They basically said there is growing demand and appetite amongst enterprise for AI, security, and cloud. And now that helps propel it above now 4% on the day, Brendo.
Yeah, pretty impressive, guys. 55 holding so far here for Cisco.
It is very impressive, especially with the market on the lows, right? Like any stock that can break out the top on the daily. Now, Cisco's not going to really move that much. Its ATR is like 79 cents or somewhere around there. It's not. Of course, Sharif like chuckles at it. I'm like, it's not. It's a $55 stock. That's not that bad. But it's not super volatile. So maybe that helps it out a little bit. But if you didn't have it right at the open, saying I like the breakout right away through the previous top, or maybe getting through the pre-market high, there wasn't much to dig into. You could go scalp mode on this, I suppose. Like this is what it's done since the opening rush. Like at 10 o'clock, it had traveled like almost $2 up and then a pullback of $1. Since then, you just don't have too much to dig into. So yes, it's relatively strong, but you know, if you're going 55 into 55.20, you could probably have scalped that a few times here today. It would be a little bit more interesting if it like flat bottom broke to the downside and then gave some of that up. If the market takes out the lows, I would almost say like the trade would be, does it give any of this up underneath 55? And then you actually have some room for a big move this afternoon, which would be to the downside. I mean, the shorts are in. We'll talk some chips. I am in Intel right now. We'll talk to some chips with NVIDIA in just a little bit here. But Cisco, good for them. If this market catches a bid, you're seeing it on the daily breaking out. So maybe there's something for this in the next days and weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Neil just hammered it right there. I have nothing to say or add about Cisco. I mean, it's not really moving today. It is kind of important to look at the average true range because that's going to give you an idea of where we think the market's actually going to go and, you know, if you're going to break out of it. But of course, ATR doesn't matter that much when you're talking about an earnings play. So the only Cisco that I know
like it when the beat
has a
goes,
certain thong song attached to it. So shout out to Drew Hill.
I
think anybody knows who Drew Hill is?
They know Drew Hill.
Do they? Oh, I know someone that doesn't. You ready?
Brendan.
Here we go.
Do you know who Drew Hill is?
Cisco, baby.
Shut up, Sharif. Sharif.
Unbelievable. Seriously?
Oh, yeah, what a throw, baby.
No, dude,
what a throw.
Oh, shoot. That was sick. Oh, I just cursed.
Somehow that got here. I don't know.
You guys
that's
can't,
over TVs, through lights.
There's like a window this big to get it over the TVs and actually landed in the bucket. You know the hilarious part about that?
I'm not playing around.
Is the Packers quarterback couldn't have dropped it in the bucket that well.
No, he could not have.
Sign you up, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've gotten lots of different contracts and everything like that. There it is, all the way
we do
through
have a
there.
camera
so
for this.
Thank you so much for that. As there's Ramin getting everything all organized there.
I've been saying this. If all of those cameras were constantly recording somehow, I guess I don't know if you can do that, then you'd actually have shots of all that nonsense, like sometimes when the shenanigans happen. But long story short, thank you for spoiling that. There's no chance Brendan would have gotten it, the thong song. Before we throw it back to the desk, I actually wanted to get to this super chat here for a second. So thank you, Jims, for the super chat. Messi or Ronaldo, who's the best football player ever? Pele. But I'd say Messi between the two. I'm on Team Messi when it comes to Messi or Ronaldo. But full disclosure, I am an England soccer fan. So there is a, despite the fact that I have Portuguese blood, it's going to be Messi for me. I just can't say Ronaldo, sorry.
They made it. They made it safe. It was a long trip, but they have now a new home on our desk, for now anyways. Let's talk NVIDIA here. As we said, chips, yeah, it's been choppy to say the least, but a ton of additional positivity coming through on NVIDIA this morning. One from Oppenheimer, $500. Rosenblatt, the other one, $800 ahead of earnings coming up next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. I was just about to mention that. August 23rd, I'm going to be wearing the black jacket on this desk to pay homage to Jensen Huang.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So we know today Rosenblatt increased their price target from 500 to 800, essentially seeing the stock doubling. Didn't really give a window, but we know that the Saudis, the Chinese have been buying these chips hand over fist. Reason being, they're looking for to expand their AI base.
We shall see how that report goes. You can't even tell what it is. It looks like a, I don't know, something or other. There we go. That's better. All right.
Oppenheimer, I mean, that was a great movie. The price target's a little bit interesting. We talked about this morning. Like, I don't have a particular issue with anybody's methodology that states that, okay, I've got a 5-year blah blah blah, Nvidia gets to $800 and whatever. But it's just when you really don't know what that's all about, like what's the point? Like, you need to dig into whatever the report is. Nvidia, it never set up for me for the short. Fine, like it's going to happen sometimes. I was kind of looking at yesterday's lower highs, and that would have been the first level, and then the 48 to 50 would have been the second level. You didn't really get that much of a test at the open into it, and yeah, the base didn't quite get to that 31, 32 area, almost close to it. I do have to show you. Yesterday, Intel was the jam short, so it's kind of weird that when it got to 33 and I had a support line down there, instead of looking for a second entry into the short, which I had missed the first, I decided I wanted to go long off that price area, that's genius, right? It's like, okay, it was a great short yesterday, and it's tanking today. So when it gets to 33, instead of a false break back up, let's go for the long and lose 5 cents on it. So that's what I did. And I'm in the short now off the same price level. It is at VWAP. If it breaks VWAP, 32.60 will be the next out. But, you know, sometimes you just want to stick with one direction. It's not the band, but the trend. The band I can do without. But, yeah, stick with that trend. It is your friend. I almost want to say inexcusable not to have been short this level here on Intel. You know, like it was 33 was pretty obvious. And even you could have been out of the long and then into the short after. Like I could have shorted it after the fact of the long. That's the other thing. But by that time, I was into other names. It is what it is. It'll still be a good day, but I'll look back and just wonder how I managed to not have been short until 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Intel today.
Yeah, I mean, we only traded AMD today, and it was kind of just a back and forth day. We could talk about what we did early on AMD, and it wasn't much. Well, hold on, so maybe I can zoom. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say maybe I can zoom in a little bit. All right, so we started the day trying to go long off 107, right? You can see here that we really, I thought this was going to be an area of support right there, 107. I mean, you come in, this is the whole day here today, this move down. So I started the day thinking that we could bounce off this 106.50, and we actually wrote it down here on our sticky note that we wanted a 106.50 long to come into play here for us on advanced micro devices. But unfortunately, so that's why we went long, and now let's talk about what we did. So we went long into here, got a couple names out, started defending this 106 area because it just came in pretty quickly. Once we realized that, you know, all these longs were really hard to get out, and then we break 106 to the downside. Then we shorted it into the 50 period, which broke. But then once it broke, we got right back into the short again at 106.50, and then it started to collapse in. And then we just danced with it a little bit again at 106. Wound up taking about 80 cents on some of the short back in there. But again, just no conviction today. Yesterday we had great conviction in NVIDIA. It took $7 a couple times, multiple areas there on NVIDIA yesterday that we really liked. I mean, I can show them to you right here. Yesterday's trade was right up into here, 442 into 444. We had all these shorts. And I guess when you're looking at it again today, it's not an excuse. First of all, Apple's a $1 winner right now. Microsoft's $2 in the money, so we have those. But this is a short here. And it's just ridiculous that I'm not in it. What are you gonna do? We shorted Apple 175 with that, now that's $1. But this should really be $3 in the money. I've been biased NVIDIA short for this whole time. So this should be a short right there. Missed opportunity. So I'm just gonna slap a fail rate on that. Join me at 4 o'clock as I add NVIDIA to my trade review now, because I definitely want to talk about this. You got to go back to the well when you make money one day and have a good feel for it. So go back to NVIDIA there, 438.50. What a great shorting opportunity right there. But we did miss it. If you're going to look long, it has to be down here right now. You don't want to trade in the middle, man. Don't trade in the middle. Let's wait to see what happens now with NVIDIA.
All right, we were wondering what day it was going to be when VFS started to make its move back downside. Answer was today. Apparently, Sharif and I were just talking though. I mean, 28 to 23, not bad, but I feel like there's still a ways to go here potentially for VinFast.
You mean the 1% of the company, Brendo, is not worth 85 billion? Because that's what it was worth a couple of days ago. Now it's dropped to 54.5 billion. But anyway, for real though, this company has ambitions to build about 50,000 cars this year. They'll have to double what they've already produced year to date. They also have a serious cost problem. They want the VF8 to sell about 46,000. That's about $700 less than the Model Y, yet it has a 100-mile less range. So a lot of loose ends there, Brendo.
We were discussing in the pre-market this morning the fact that, volume yesterday still very high. This morning in the pre-market was a little bit lower and continued that way throughout the day. So the pullback is on, it would appear, guys, for VFS.
It is, and if it breaks 23, there is a chance on this stock that it could do something interesting to the downside today. So it's kind of obvious to show you guys this double bottom. You're underneath both yesterday's support and then day one afternoon support of 20. This was about 23, like half, and then over here is like 24. So you break that double bottom at 23 and things could get ugly. I'm into other EV names, one of which was one of the strongest names in the market today and then got into this level from a couple of days ago. A big rejection on Rivian just underneath 22 a couple of days ago. And it was super strong, so it got into that price. It didn't quite get there. So, no look there, but then it gained a lower high as the market's rolling over off a resistance from 2 days ago. Played to VWAP. Once it was consolidating in here, I thought there'd be another press into VWAP that I could add to, but since it's actually broken down. So I do like the notion of stair step down and short somewhere in the 21 quarter to jump back into this on Rivian, which could go red underneath $21. The other one, this is not that difficult to figure out on Mullen. Yesterday was the first day, since the reverse split. Oh, I can't go back far enough. I'll have to use a 15-minute chart so that you guys can see there was a reverse split on Mullen. It went again for the umpteenth time from 10 cents to $1. It then tried to close for has to close 10 consecutive days over $1. It made it 3 days. Yesterday, it failed to. So I'll go back to my 3-minute here. And what happened this morning? It got over $1 very, very briefly. Once it failed the dollar move, I just started shorting it first at like 99.7 and then at 99, and it's now at 89 cents. I have bids every single penny underneath to see how far we can go here. The aftermarket showed you what I think the move should be, like down to this 85 to 84 area if it wants to pull in the full move that it did in the aftermarket yesterday. But you saw, like the second it closed beneath the dollar, the sellers just were dumping it yesterday. So I was looking for that trade. Put it in the notes today, and it gave it to you at the open, the fail break of $1 here on Mullen.
All right, just looking here because we are back into a doozy of a position. VFS. Okay, no trade, no cry on that one today. But yesterday was a great trade for us on VFS. Don't really know why we didn't go back into it there today. Look, we just danced with Google a little bit there, breaking through VWAP. We should not have been involved once it breaks VWAP. We should not have tried the long again. Couple quick ins and outs there. But now we found a level off 130. So right now we're long at 130.10. And then just honestly, just scalping this out right now, starting in the 20s, now getting some more out in the 30s, and just taking another piece out right now at 29. Why not? And then we'll wait to see what happens. I do have some orders a lot higher. If we can get something near VWAP, that'd be pretty good. Just trying to scalp out a little bit. When you are below here, there's VWAP. Here's the 50 period. This is a scalp kind of a situation now. I don't, you don't want to be trying to pick longs now, because if you're going to try to pick a long, this is not even the area to do it. It's where we just did it right there. We've already talked about this 148.50 trying to hold, 14,850, sorry, trying to hold down there. So if the market can do that, then that would be great, and we'll figure out where to go on that one. But right now, nice little downside move happening in the market. We did pick up some Google down there. Normally, we're trying to get something that's a little stronger in the market, but hey, up 1.24%. Good enough for me, man, today on Google versus a negative market. So that daily chart, there it is. Don't look so good. This is why we pick it. The other one that I thought earlier today would have been a good trade was Amazon. That looks like a good pick off the bottom as well, but we already got sort of, this isn't that bad on Amazon today at all. We're down a cup of coffee, but, tried to pick up all of these bids until eventually it broke. But it looks like even though we leave it take out that bottom. Look where Amazon is right now. Still holding out pretty good. We didn't flush exactly, but that 134.20 area, sometimes you got to get rid of some of this garbage and just try to say, you know what, maybe there's a better area for support, but there it is right there on Amazon as it's trying to go back up. Let's go, Google. Get on your freaking horse, man, and let's see if we can't have some diamond hands with this Google trade, trying to break higher now. Good takedown low. Let's see if we can get going. Next targeted out, right into here, man, 130.50. We had some barcoding there. That's where we were going in and out. We'll see if we can take it on Google. But yeah, not too much talk about VinFast. But the one thing I did want to look at was Rivian. Neil and I talked about this sort of off air. It's like, what was going on with Rivian? It did have some nice spikes right into here, up to 22 bucks again, and now fading. Play this one off of VWAP, I think, at this point. I like shorts, especially stocks that are near volume weighted average price right now. I like this for a short continuing down through. I'd say Rivian has a good chance to hit day's low again. We done?
I think, well, VFS was the last one, so I'm not sure there's anything else. I want to mention something. We're going to go back to the desk for real Brendan. Fake Brendan? Which
Rundown
one?
brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. Trader TV 20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
Uh-oh, there we go. Little like black screen of death. Well, it's because of the shirts, right? So we have to give you the black screen.
The screen went shirt there.
Every now and then. I wanted to at least mention these vax names because, you know, whether you're looking at Pfizer, Moderna, they're all really strong today. Pfizer's up 3%, was just charging all morning long, actually bouncing above VWAP. There might be some longs in here today. I mean, if you're looking at the market at the low of the day, like you want to go long in strong stocks, like this off VWAP might be a bit of a thing here. I also like the look of this. You pull up the 15-minute on Pfizer, like this is right up to where it's been trying to break out this 36.5. So it does set up that if it can reclaim this, maybe you get a retest to the high, but it's really Moderna that's been the strong one. And there's a decent, like this could take out the top, right? You're right, Super SPAC Man, BNTX as well. I'm sure every name in this group is doing something similar. Although I thought, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Moderna was looking the strongest. I could be wrong. I didn't actually look up BNTX. I probably should have. But Moderna with this nice little consolidation up top, looking to break out the top. Again, you don't want to play the momentum. If this is where the strength is, sometimes the strength is in the low float runners. Today, it sort of feels like it's going to be in these VAX names. Oh, there's one other thing that we didn't, I think we said this, but I don't know if we said it out loud, Sean, 150 on, it was yesterday.
Yeah, we like that
JP
yesterday.
Morgan at 150. Ooh, I got that bad wick. JP Morgan at 150, there's another bad wick. Was holding that bid yesterday, and then today, it's gonna be hard to see, but it gave up the 150 level without a lot of fanfare, but just glided down a clean dollar. It's now hanging out beneath it. I think this is a good threat to break the lows, or at least give you a short into VWAP off the 150. I think I'd want to be with the trend as opposed to against it. So we're all short. I really think it's like, where can I be adding to it? I just probably missed my chance. Yeah, I could have just gone lower, high, short. I'm not going to get those on Intel. Maybe we wonder about a flat bottom break on Intel. I know Cisco could have been an opportunity if that wanted to break support at 54.90, I believe it is. So if this has a gap to fill, maybe we go gap filling in the gap to the downside as the market is on the low of the day. So if you got your shorts, it's working out of them at this particular point, looking for some new ones. Maybe a Cisco breakdown here might make some sense. Ooh, Tesla just gave up 222. Oh well.
You didn't have the
it was in the money for a while.
So the funny thing is that when I bought mine at 242, the next day it went to 252.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
number.
we were $10 in the money on ours, and then that didn't last too
long. So
the
story is I had a stink bid for a little bit on Tesla at 222.22 just because I thought it was amusing myself. And at one point this morning, the low of the day was 222.21. So I had gotten my fill on my personal account, and then it was the low. There was a chance I could have been the bottom wick and it could have gone higher. But of course now the market's deciding to ruin that fun and it's going to the downside. So Tesla is weak, everything else is. I think I'm going to take a shot at this. If Cisco breaks that local bottom, I mean, I don't care how strong you are, man. At some point, with CSCO, whoops, that's jokes. Although I would never punch short on a random stock. Yeah, if you break out this local bottom, I'm just gonna go for the momentum play on Cisco because you can take out this low and then maybe put a stop at 55 and then risk less than 15 cents on Cisco. And if it moves 40 cents, that's like half the ATR, so not that bad if it tries to fill in this gap. The market seems to want lower here.
Okay, so just so you guys are aware, we did take this out again, so we'll go sirens. Apple just came right back in again, and this is the right way to trade, man. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. You know, when you're below and you're starting to keep going down, you're below the 50 period, and the market is still on its way to the downside, you don't, and I'm learning that lesson with Google right now, and it's fine, man. I'm learning this lesson every single day. I mean, first of all, we scalped out Google. We just reloaded it to the short. So am I really or to the long? Am I really learning? But pick the weak names. Apple, 1.47%. Reload them short. Like this was a short right there on that bump, short there on that bump. And now we're actually making lower highs. Boom, boom, boom right now. It's not by much, but it's by 5 cents every time. Nice lower high coming into play again. And look at this, man. Boom, boom, boom. Thrice, 4 times, quattro right there to the downside. And here we go, breaking even lower right now on Apple. And this is what I'm talking about. All right, you know what, man? I'll learn my lesson a little bit and get something out here if I can at 13s maybe, if that's able to give it to me now. All right. Anyways, what we did there was what we did right here was just buy back as it rips through 13. We obviously get that fill. As we buy, there's down here at 8 again, just scalping them out, man. Like if we get out at the 50 period moving average, we will just do that. Thank you for all the nice talk in the chat there. Whoever's calling me Shawnee, don't let my wife see that. That's going to be a problem. 130.40 right there for the upside.
That's not who
Rob,
calls
you
me
can call me whatever you want. But there it is right now to the upside. What was that? Yeah, late for dinner. That's what it would be. Right there, 130.20 right now coming into play for Google. Why not just take a little bit right here again on the downside, or on the upside? So that's a good one there for GOGGLE right now. Go Google. Maybe we get a retracement back up, but who knows right now for Google as they're working on some lights, they're working on some cameras. No, is it power? What are you guys doing?
I don't know what they're doing, but there's Rob.
Mike, oh, wow.
And,
didn't even notice.
Oh, we have a
another
microphone
up there now.
Oh,
See, there's where we are.
So there's Rob, and that's Mark. You never actually, so Mark is kind of like Wilson. You never get to see his face. He's just sort of always around. He's on a ladder somewhere doing something, but you never actually get to see his face. These two are always working. And you know what's hilarious? When all this is being done, who do you never, like, where's Randy? Where's Randy? Randy will come by to talk about Tesla or something, but when there's stuff to be done.
No. That's not what Randy's thing is, man.
Randy.
He's just chilling out. He's walking around. He's supervising. He's monitoring said actions. And
Speaking of actions, all the action is to the downside. There will be no take of an SSR bounce on Mullen. This is a hold until it proves otherwise. And shout out in the chat to a couple of people that just alerted me to Nikola, which could be breaking down as well. Mullen just broke 90, gave 89s and 88s. It's going to continue downside. You could get a 15% move down in and then come back to this like a few weeks later and say that was absolutely nothing. If this goes to 10 cents, again, like that is the most nonsensical thing I've ever seen. But a pattern is a pattern, and it seems to want to do it again. So I'm mentioning Nikola here only because it's been consolidating after a very muted bounce, and it has a potential flat bottom break in here off of 192. It may not seem like much, but if you can grab 10, 15 cents on Nikola, that's actually pretty good. And if the market's grinding down and this wants to give up support, I think that would be quite spicy. I do have that Cisco stop. It doesn't seem to want to go anywhere just yet. So I'm not going to get into it unless it's breaking support. Like Cisco is a strong stock today. I don't have to tell you guys that. If you can manage to take out that bottom, then I want to get into the short. And if the market bounces off the lows and suddenly is looking strong, I probably cancel that order and don't even think about it. I'm just looking for a bit of a gap fill there on Cisco. Intel, I think I have a better chance of getting more shares of Rivian than right now Intel. Like if Rivian can come in there and give me something in the 20s, I want to try to add to that short position, give it into the 2130. I should be showing you VWAP there. Yeah, give it into 2130. Like that would be the entry next for something like a Rivian. Yeah, I like that look. I definitely like that look on Nikola if you can break out that bottom.
All right, we're Money.
Yep.
This is what we're doing. I mean, we're here to make money. So let's just call it what it is. If you're a trader, obviously that's what you're trying to do. And right there's Google. We talked about learning from our mistakes and not buying names when we're below on the NASDAQ, especially below the 50-period moving average. So, now that we've done that and, kind of gone against what we're trying to do, I think that scalping it all out, we're out of half now of this as we get up to 25, 30. I mean, like I said, the 50 period keeps coming down. We did have our targeted outs near 50s. Now I'm feeling like 40s is probably a much better out. Although now I'll keep my bids or my offers in there. I'm at 47 and 65. Let's see if we can float a little bit on that one. Someone put in the chat that Microsoft's been strong. We only have 10% left of Microsoft. So we did short the living, out of this one and then all the way to the downside. So that was pretty good here on Mr. Softy to the downside. So that was a good one so far as we go. But after that, man, not much else going on right now. Microsoft downside, Neo still downside, looking for some more trades. What I want to talk about today was we promised you that we would get yellow going through today. It has not done anything. It really all day, man. I've been watching it, looking to trade something on the OTC markets, but it started off pretty good this morning and didn't really have an opportunity because wanted to see a trade, see how the fills were coming in. And it looks like it was pretty good. It went down to 80 cents. This was a name that we did not have for you yesterday, but we do have for you today. So, this is yellow. I don't know. I don't remember the highs it got to. Was it $2 maybe?
It went higher than that. Actually.
Unfortunately, we don't have the charting.
Oh no! Sorry. Yesterday, I think actually 140 was.
But I mean, like once it was on the public market on NASDAQ.
Oh, like the recent high since the bankruptcy thing, I think it got up to like $4 or $5.
Oh, did it get that high?
Yeah, and then pull back. So.
Oh yeah, here I have it right here. I can e-signal actually.
It was close to $5.
Puts forward the chart, the symbol. So here's yellow. I just wanted to review it with everybody. That's that because I was wondering what the bottom was because we did come over to pink sheets yesterday, and we made that bottom today. What did I say that bottom was today? 80s. Okay, so if you're gonna go back here, the low we got there on bankruptcy was 50, 54, 55. So, trying to just respect what's happening right now on yellow. So your shares should have just gone right over and then merged into a new symbol and then check out your broker statement, I guess, to see if it's in, or your account, to see if it's in there right now. Yeah, ideally, hopefully you didn't have it when it moved down, but probably some people did.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you know what the thing is, we talked about this with Jeff Mendel, like how the hell did Luckin Coffee go down at $4 and it's gonna come back at 30? So, I mean, maybe there is some hope there. And the other name was Hertz. If you remember, Hertz Global went down, and then our poor friend, man, Carl Icahn, who's not a friend, but we like to call him that.
Greatest moment on that other channel
Carl.
ever.
Yeah, greatest moment ever with him and Bill Ackman.
They'll never do
on
better.
Herbalife when they were calling each other's crazy names. I don't know if they were both Jewish or not, but that was getting thrown around there.
No,
crazy stuff that was happening.
It's a quote. I think he called Bill Ackman. Maybe I'm paraphrasing, but he called him he was basically like a playground crybaby or something.
Yeah, something like that.
That's harsh words. A couple of billionaires going at it. It was good TV. We gotta get to this HKIT for a second here because this is wild. To say it's up 15% really doesn't describe what happened on the stock even remotely. So it's halted at, let's get the nuts and bolts, it's halted at 2028 with a tap of 2025. It's indicating an open of flat in about a minute or so. But this stock flushed, 5 million share float, flushed, got cut in half, and is now breaking out. Now, if you wonder what it looks like when shorts get trapped, it's something like this. Because anybody that was like, yeah, we're winning on this, and they're like, yeah, well, if it comes back, it's got to be a short. Because if I was looking at this, I'd almost 100% if I was looking at this and it paid for locates, I'd have been short here. Which wouldn't have been that bad because I would have gone $2 in the money and then you could stop out, break even. But if you're still short this name, they're bleeding and getting destroyed after that pullback. Like, look at the daily chart on this and then look at how confident I guess shorts must have been. Like, this is nasty on this HKIT. It's opening back up right here. I don't have locates. It might actually halt almost immediately. Like, it opened higher and immediately started testing 22. So if you're watching this, congratulations if you're in the money. I don't think I'd be looking to short this unless it went to like $50, like 40, something ridiculously stupid, or just breaking down and like multiple levels. So crazy move there. Guys, just want to make sure we keep track of it. Tesla is absolutely flushing now underneath that 22. I think it's just a short beneath the previous low, which is 221. 221.5. I keep saying 22 because of my bid this morning. 221.5 is that low. It's just consolidating underneath it. Like if I'm not going to get a pop and Rivian to VWAP, this is giving you an entry off of 221.5 at least.
Okay, I just wanted to shout out to Weaver Welder right now. So what are my settings for VWAP? So there has been some talk in there. Oopsies. There has been some talk in the chat for that. So thank you, Weaver Welder, for that. Volume weighted average price is obviously something that I'm using every single minute on the show all the time to judge momentum, to judge sort of where the stock wants to go, and then are we buying above or below the volume weighted average price? Often, you know, big hedge funds or traders are going to want to get the price as far away or close to the VWAP, depending on what they're doing. So often they'll say, okay, I want you to go in there and buy me 100,000 shares of Apple. Well, if the VWAP at the end of the day is 179.50, they're going to judge it based on, did you get better than the average price today or worse than the average price today? So often if the VWAP is 179.50 and you're able to get your clients long at 179.40, then you save them basically 10 cents on the average price. So a lot of the time you'll see stocks sort of float back up to VWAP or head back in there as traders, you know, once it's away and you got to get short, then they start shorting it and getting the better prices into VWAP. So that's often where people will use that. And then I also saw some on the chat there, and it's exactly right. There is no settings. It's a simple formula. So sum of volume times price divided by volume. That's what it is. And then I just wanted to show you here as well that even on our settings right here. So, you know, I'm using the 200 period simple, 50 period EMA, 21 period simple, and you could see you could put in the values here. You could go input high, low, close is what I use. But for VWAP, we don't have any settings whatsoever. So.
What it can, I think for some platforms, I think you're able to decide when it starts counting. So
yeah,
like,
you could use an anchored VWAP we've had on the show.
Yeah, and
before.
like also for the day, like you can have it start at 9:30. You can have it started like in the pre-market if you wanted to. On our side, in P Pro 8, it's just you have a default setting for when the data turns on. So it's not, we don't have that optionality. I think on other platforms maybe you do. So that could be the only thing you're looking for. I completely forgot about AMC $4, and that's because I canceled my breakout order when it pulled back. I had the long off the 380 break or 385 break. We're in the long into $4, and then it flushed off $4. I'm like, oh, it's back underneath 380. Cancel that. It's not going to break out today. It's pretty much done. And so when AMC just now broke 4, it might end up failing this break. I ended up getting in here at 03. I should have had this the first time through, but I'm in it now at the